Good morning.
Goeiemôre, kia ora,
Away.
Morena.
Alright, people goed. Guys, this morning we on the topic of what motivated you to move to New Zealand. It's rather an easy topic for some people. It's rather a difficult topic for some people. The reason why I say it's an easy topic for some people is some people just find it easy to get that answer down there, while other people struggle with that answer. So this comes basically from somebody who on Facebook on within this week had this whole thing about how wonderful their life in South Africa is and so forth, and they wanted to move over to New Zealand, or they wanted to know why would people move over to New Zealand if they are in that position where they are. So there was a lot of questions or answers to that, but I thought rather let's hear what you guys are saying. So we like to hear what motivated you this morning. I know what motivated me, and we can probably share a tiny bit of that. I'm not going to spend hours on our story. I think we've told our story a few times already. So let me ask you the question.
Don't ask me. Nothing motivated me. You said we're moving, and that's why
Okay.
we're moving.
So that was motivation enough. So
yeah, I'm one of those. I don't know what you should call it, but if it wasn't for Jan, I probably would still be in South Africa. Not because I loved it there, but just because it was difficult for me to immigrate.
So why was it difficult for you?
Emotionally, it was really hard for me. So I knew in my head that it was the right thing to do and it was the best thing to do, but my heart and my head was not on the same page.
Thinking back today, what about 6 years ago? If you had to make that decision again,
if I knew what I know now, I wouldn't have struggled that much. Yes.
Would have struggled that much.
I still would have struggled a little bit with leaving the kids and stuff, but I would be more. What's the word that I'm looking for? Prone.
Okay. Prone.
Prone.
Okay.
Yes.
The big thing is when we left. We were actually going to leave all 3 kids behind, and it turned out with the operation that I had that I could bring one, as we were a bit later than moving over. I could bring one, and these days there's 2 of the 3 already here, and we hope the 3rd one will listen to us and move over as well. Okay.
I think the question on everyone's lips is the grass greener on the other side? Probably not. Or probably yes, because it does rain a lot. The grass
that was one of the interesting
greener.
answers, that the grass is literally greener because of the amount of rain. So, but would you say that?
I think this is also a personal thing. For me, the grass is definitely greener on this side.
But on a personal note?
Not literally and physically.
Okay.
What? Letterlijk en figuurlijk. Yes.
That's something like that. The big question would be then, if you had the lifestyle you have now, okay, let's forget where we were. The lifestyle you've got now, and if you had this in South Africa, would you still have moved?
No, I wouldn't move if it was the same.
Okay. You want my question? The answer?
Yeah.
I would have moved.
If everything was like it is in New Zealand, in South Africa,
No. I'm talking about your lifestyle. You have, not the country. I'm talking about your lifestyle in South Africa.
We would never have been able to have the lifestyle that we have here in South Africa. So
I fully agree with you.
Not a question.
Yeah, but the biggest thing is people that in South Africa that are wealthy or really wealthy, that they struggle to adapt this side.
Yeah. Look, you have to know that it is going to be a little bit of a struggle for maybe 2 years.
Call it a culture shock, man.
It's not only that. Yeah. It is a financial burden. It's an emotional burden, not only on you, but on your family as well. So you have to know that it's going to be a little bit of a struggle for at least 2 years. So just get yourself in that mindset. But if I read all the comments, and I know we have to be honest, there are things in New Zealand that's not great. like in any other country.
But
But
let's talk about that's more first world problems. We have a problem with the government now, and I think we are going to replace it.
yes,
If you have a problem with the government in South Africa, you're going to have the
can't
same
replace
government for the
it.
next 500,000 years.
And not only that, I know that there are people that struggle with the school system. I can't tell you a lot about the school system because I don't know. But then on the other hand, there's people that absolutely love the school system. I think it is just what you, it's different to what you know.
Yeah.
But if you embrace the way that they do it, you'll soon see that it's actually not that bad.
And I think some people, and we've been watching a few kids, so we didn't have kids in school itself, but I've seen a few kids when they were in South Africa and what they are now. They are way better here, and I'm not talking a tiny bit. I'm talking about massively different.
The thing is, and it also, I think it depends on what kind of personality your child has. But in New Zealand, they don't put your kid in a box.
Yeah.
So they're a little bit more free-spirited. So they allow the child to develop in his own capacity, if I can say it like that. And some children don't like that. They want to be put in a box. There are schools that do that.
Yeah.
There are like the private schools and stuff. They do that. Very strict in some instances. But then you get children that really wants to develop on their own and in their own time. And in their own way, and they really embrace that.
And then there's a space for them to do that as well.
Yes. Yeah.
So
yes, but that's only schools, and we don't really know a lot about that. But otherwise, if I read the comments, the main thing that always comes to light is you can't buy safety, and that is what New Zealand offers you.
Yeah.
And yes, in South Africa, you can probably buy it. You can probably,
up
to a point when you
can
leave.
I put this on?
Yes.
We are in the process of moving, and our motivation is peace of mind and safety.
Yes.
You can stay in the nicest gated community, or what they call it, security community there. You can have armed guards around your house. If you get in your car, you're a target. Because if you live in those type of circumstances, you're probably driving something that's worth a few bucks to somebody out there who hasn't got it.
Yeah.
And that makes you a target. And that was my, sorry for me chipping in.
Yes, no.
My main motivation to leave South Africa was the fact that I didn't want to put a tracker on her ankle, and I didn't know where she was. And if you got missing in South Africa, you never get found.
That's the thing.
That's a bad thing. Yeah. And I was thinking about my kids. I was lying awake at night and hoping they get safely home. Safety. That was the big thing. You can have as much money as you want to.
Yeah.
If they don't carry you around like they do with the United States president, you're a target in South Africa.
For me, what the move did for me, it is just the way that it was. I don't know if I'm just stupid, but the moment I set foot in New Zealand, I immediately, it was like I zipped myself open and I threw off that outer shell. It was like I was a new person. I didn't ever walk down the street, look over my shoulder, cling onto my bag. It was just an immediate, it was like, I don't know, it was just this thing that came over me that I can just be, I'll be okay.
So I was actually sitting with a fellow South African about a week ago. We were sitting in an open space where we were having a quick lunch. And you had to go and order at the counter, not like normal. And we took our cell phones, we put the cell phone on the table. That was our table marker. Now in South Africa, you don't even put your cell phone against your ear. They will steal it from your ear. So we left our cell phones on the table as a table marker. We went, ordered our food, and then came back. And then he said to me, he's also a fellow South African. And he said to me, I would never even think about doing this in South Africa. It suddenly hit him what he was doing. And we were just doing this as normal. It's not.
It's a thing you do.
Not abnormal.
When I go shopping, I put my handbag in the trolley. When I'm shopping vegetables, I leave my trolley and I walk around and I get whatever I want. I don't even have... Look, there is a possibility that someone may, but it's not even on my mind. I don't even think about
Yeah.
it. And then one thing that I'll never forget is when I met a girl, a woman, a young lady with 3 small children when they just arrived. That was about 3 years ago. And she said, when I went to visit her, she said, the thing that was so profound for her is when they moved into their house. I think it was in Papamau or somewhere. And she says when they went outside, there was a little park just across the road, but a little bit further. It was like the kids just instantly knew that they were safe. They didn't look around looking for mom's hand or whatever. They just got out and ran to the park. It was as if they could feel that they are safe. And isn't that what you just want for your kids?
Oh yeah. You don't hear about kids going missing here. You don't hear about people being kidnapped. You don't. I'm not even going to go on that list. It's too long.
So if it is only for the safety of your children, I don't know why you would ever not want to move. I know financially it will be hard on you. And I know that some people who are very, I don't know, in a very good place in South Africa, and I know a lot of people are, they earn a lot of money. Their houses, they've got a house, they own a house, maybe 2, they own cars. It can be a very difficult move.
Can we read what the people have said?
Yes.
As comes to, my husband was in an armed robbery in the middle of the day. We arrived. Now, for the people in New Zealand that doesn't know what armed robbery is, it's when guys arrive with guns at your house. We arrived in New Zealand 7 months after that. The move was tough, taking the little ones from their grandparents, leaving the families behind. It's always tough. The first while was not easy. We worked extremely hard. But though all was sweat and tears, we built our new life. We won't go back, even if someone pays us. The grass is always greener where you water it.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a very, very good one.
That is a good one.
This is a sad one.
Yes.
Okay. After a few weeks of being here, my 9-year-old daughter said, we haven't heard gunshots for a while, Mom.
Jeez, it makes me teary.
It's sad to think, but that was a norm.
It is true. When I went to visit my kids now in February, you in the house and you can hear the gunshots.
That's the thing.
It's just a normal thing for them. For me, it was like, oh my word, what? You're not used to that anymore. And some kids that are a little bit older, they come here and they really have PTSD. I have a friend that her daughter, she still, when she hears a loud bang or something, it's like she wants to fall to the ground. That's no way to grow up.
Nobody will ever understand how hard it is moving abroad with children, no support, no family, no familiarity. It makes me so sad that so many of us put ourselves through so much emotional and mental turmoil and under so much pressure, thinking that by leaving we are now giving our children a better life. But are we really giving them a better life? Be honest. By leaving, we are actually losing ourselves, losing our identity, losing our support system, and losing everything we have ever known.
That is very true.
You've got a point there as well.
That is very true. Yeah. And I have thought about that a lot. I can speak from experience here. My grandchildren are in South Africa, 3 of them. And I lose out and they lose out. And the oldest one, for some reason, she just loves us very much, although she never sees us almost. But it is really hard for her and she cries a lot and she really wants to be with grandma and grandpa. And for us, it's the same. You really want to be.
And that motivates me to bring them here.
And the thing is just, what is sad is somewhere that there has to be that generation that takes the gap and move. So you move now with your kids, and yes, it is hard on them, but for their families, this will be home from the start, and they will be safe from the start. Yeah. So it is. I think you must just put your mindset like that. We knew it was going to be very hard, and it's still hard. But it is just that if we begin to write our history down now, our children's children will be born in a safe country. Yep. They will grow up safe and free. And somewhere that break needs to happen. And unfortunately.
And I know it's not a nice thing. It's not a nice thing leaving your parents behind. I had to leave my dad very sick He died 3 months after we arrived here. I couldn't even go back. The airplanes was just fully booked at that period of time. So I couldn't even go to his funeral. I would have arrived about a week later only. It's very, very tough. But somewhere along the line, somebody has to make the move. Remember the first 4 trackers? They got hutful there in Cape Town and decided we don't want to talk English. We want to move. They packed their wagons and they went.
It's just somewhere it needs to start. Yeah. And unfortunately for us, that it needed to start with us. So in some other person's instance, it will need to start with them. So although it is really hard, otherwise you're just going to be in that rat race all the time. Yeah. The circle is just going to continue.
And I've always said, if I can take my kids somewhere where my grandkids never again talk Afrikaans or never braai again, but they are safe, then I'm doing good. And I know the Afrikaner purist will hit me over the head now.
You don't need to lose your Afrikaans.
You don't need to lose your Afrikaans. I see a lot of people's kids only speaking English, but I see a lot of other people's kids only speaking English and Afrikaans, or speaking English and Afrikaans, which is a great thing. If a kid can speak 2 languages, it makes him just smarter than the rest. So,
you know what? When I went to the first beautician I went to in New Zealand, and she says, "So where are you from?" And I said, "South Africa." And she's like, "So what language do you speak?" And I say Afrikaans. And she's like, "So you can speak 2 languages?" Oh. And you know what? They can say we've got an ugly accent. They can say whatever they want.
It's ours.
There is a saying when you're an immigrant that if you've got an accent is not going to get this saying.
Oh my goodness. She lost her words. First time ever.
An accent is proof that you are brave. If you have an accent, it's proof that you are brave, because you were brave enough to leave everything you know, everyone you knew behind, and start a new life in a new country, even though you have an accent. Right. So, yes.
Okay. Let me read this one. I always say your kids will have your attitude when you come to New Zealand. So sad to see and read how many people are complaining being in New Zealand after so many blood and tears it's taken to get here. Be humble, kind and grateful. Embrace New Zealand and new road trips and new adventures. Kai koa, ka. I don't know what that means.
Love.
Oh, okay. Remember when you are doing it. Remember why you are doing it and for whom you are doing it. Puts my motives in the right space. Yeah, sometimes you just got to sit back. And I always say, I go and watch Carte Blanche. And last night we got the sad news that Derek Watts has died. So,
yes,
yeah.
That is sad.
That is sad.
That is
Somebody
sad.
just commenting on your accent. Many people told me my accent is beautiful and to never lose it.
Yes. The thing is, when you come here, when you're a little bit older, you probably will never lose it. So
I don't mind. I don't mind. So,
yeah, it's the little ones. Oh my word! As soon as they go to school,
think about it. How smart we actually are.
No, we are.
We can talk Afrikaans, we can talk English, and we can talk Kiwi.
Yes.
Yeah. So, all right. Anybody else gonna put their reason why they have left South Africa, except for the normal robberies and those type of things? I just read somebody writing they hate Auckland. Somebody said they hate Auckland because it's quiet. They sit in the traffic and nobody gets road rage.
Oh yes, that is true. You sometimes just want to. I don't know. No, you don't get that.
Yeah, and the
people don't. Hoot.
Somebody will push in front of you and say sorry, and you'll give space to somebody. Let's say thank you. But it's nice. It's nice to be in a civilized. I want to call it a civilized.
Someone
country.
Once said, "Hulle is bietjie te ordentlik."
Okay, so put that in English. They're a bit too nice.
Yes.
But that's the way they are. That's the way they are. And we only came here for 2 weeks. We were on a road trip and we were fighting, and it was blood and tears and sweat and snot and hare, and she wasn't ready to come, and I had to compromise on every bloody town we drove through for her to, she would decide she loves Wellington. I thought, oh my goodness, I can't stay in Wellington. I mean, we were there and it was raining like this. It was raining sideways for the 2 days we were there. And then we arrived in Napier, and the sun was shining. It was a bit better. And she said, she likes Napier. So I thought, okay, better. And eventually we arrived in Tauranga, and I thought, geez, I like this place. So
you see, he said we can move where you want to be. And I said Napier. And where are we living? Tauranga.
I'll move you tomorrow. So.
Yeah, no, it is difficult. And look, you are allowed to vent a little bit about things that's not nice in New Zealand and about how you are feeling and how you're experiencing it.
But don't make that your focus.
But try not to make that your focus. Yes, we all vent. I mean, me and my friends, we sometimes really vent about stuff that's not going the way that we wanted it to go. But at least we can do that feeling safe. Yes, I don't know. I think it is a personal thing. And
naturally, it's a very personal thing. Nobody can make up your mind like our forefathers decided we don't want this church in this country. Let's take our whole church and go over to a different country. Nobody can force you to do that. But on a personal note, you got to make up your mind. You got to make up and be sure why you come.
Yeah,
I think it's very, very important for you to be successful here. You got to be 100% sure why you've left, and you got to accept that it's not going to be the same as where you came from.
And the thing is, I can't stress that enough. And if this is the only thing that everyone just remembers, your mindset and your whole attitude has to be right before you immigrate. And you and your family must be on the same page. Otherwise, you are going to drag each other down. And that is going to make you feel like you maybe made a mistake. I mean, you sometimes anyway going to feel that you made a mistake. So if one's not happy and constantly saying we shouldn't have moved, it can't work like that. Then you'll probably end up going back, or you'll end up staying here and be very unhappy.
Somebody just said, it's better to be in a foreign country and missing loved ones than sitting in a country and feeling that you are trapped. Cannot leave due to challenges getting work outside South Africa and worrying about the safety of our kids.
That's the main thing. Financially, a lot of people are going to work overseas, and you have to leave your family behind. I know some people that are living in New Zealand and the husband works overseas, but at least he knows that his family is safe. Yes, I don't know. I would never have been able to live alone in South Africa if you were not there. I would not be able to do it just because I am an anxious person, and you don't want to be locked behind.
No. The thing is, it starts slow. With us, it started slow. We had this open. When I grew up, we didn't have burglar bars, we didn't have safety doors, and then somebody's house got broken in, and then they put up just in front of the opening windows, they put up safeties, and so it escalated to the point where you are so locked in, you don't even get to that point consciously. Yes. It just happens.
Yes.
You see, trading doors, let's buy a trading door for the place because it'll be better for us. And then you see, somebody's trading doors got broken open. And you put up a fence, and you put up electric fence, and then you put up cameras, and you put up armed response. And
the thing is, you get so used to it, and that's the way you live. When you speak to people in New Zealand, Kiwis, and you show them what the houses look in South Africa, the first thing they ask is, and you choose to live like that? That's what they say.
Yeah, and I know they think we choose to live like that, but I think these days you don't have a choice.
You don't have a choice, but then you choose it. You don't have to.
You have to choose it. Otherwise, I mean, you don't want to sleep at night and know anybody can just walk in.
But one thing that you must, and I'm saying this again.
I don't know who this is. It's you become conditioned. That is a fact. You become so used to that you think it must be like that.
Yeah, you're thinking, we're actually safe. We're okay. What did I want to say now?
I don't know. Just don't lose your mind while you are here.
Can't remember.
One of the main factors that people think they should come to New Zealand is money. Don't let that be your driving factor. You could have a bit of a shock in that situation. Stuff tend to be a tiny bit more expensive here, especially houses.
Yeah.
Cars are way cheaper, but
That was what I was going to say. If you think I was talking about it yesterday. We were talking about it. If you've got a really good life in South Africa, and you move to New Zealand with a good salary, your wife is probably still going to have to work for you to make ends meet, because it is really expensive to live here.
But now the fact is, very few people in South Africa, and I've spoken to quite a few people the last few weeks regarding this, and I asked them what their salaries were in South Africa, and they gave me salaries which I thought, it wasn't bad. Then husband and wife had to work just to get there.
And the thing is, remember, in South Africa, everyone lives on credit cards.
Yeah.
If you don't have money, you use your credit card. I'm talking now, you come and live in New Zealand with no debt. You don't have a credit card.
None.
You can do...
You probably need to go into a bit of debt to buy a first car. And
but
you
I'm
need
not
to
talking
buy,
about stuff like that.
Yeah, but I mean, that's about
life.
the debt that you have.
Yes.
In South Africa, you had credit cards from every bank. You had personal loans. You had house debt. It's just piling up. So
just be aware that you will probably struggle a little bit. But it is a good struggle.
Yeah, this is a nice one from Rowan Mini saying, no fences, no gates. I don't lock my house or my car. Neither does she lock.
No, never.
Car. 5 years and counting. Nothing has been stolen yet. It's always the first time that it will or could happen.
It can happen.
But it's not the norm. It's much more expensive, yet we have much more than we ever had in South Africa. Even things money can't buy.
I must say, and
I'm glad somebody put that out there.
It is the same with us. We had a good life in South Africa, but the life that we have, we would never have been able to have the life that we have here if we were still in South Africa.
And the freedom. I just love the freedom.
And that's the thing that money can't buy.
Money can't buy freedom.
You are free. You can drive. This nature is beautiful. There's so many things you can do.
You know something? I think a lot of South Africans forgot what freedom is all about.
I think so.
Let's be quite frank about that. I had to relearn what freedom is about. I had to relearn that I can just stop my car next to the road anywhere and have a picnic. Because in South Africa, for the past how many years that we've been driving, the last, I would say 10, 15 years, nobody stopped next to the road anymore. You just couldn't afford it because you were going to be robbed down there. So I had to relearn that. And I had to relearn that it's fine to leave my car and walk in the bush.
Yes.
I had to relearn this. And I think a lot of people sitting in South Africa think, crazy, walking in the bush, stopping next to... We do that. We really do that. And that is what makes it so wonderful. You can just be. You can just be. Nobody worries you.
Yeah. So yes, it is a difficult decision. I know. It is a very difficult decision, but I can tell you now that we've been here for... I could tell you that when we were here for 1 year already. But now that it's been 6 years...
The year before we left for New Zealand, let me rather say that 2 years before we left New Zealand was very tough on her. And it was very tough on me and on my health. And the 1 year after we've arrived in New Zealand, I could see the difference in her in 1 year's time. And it was a good, positive difference. I was going to put a few things up before we go. Be aware that immigrants do not automatically receive the same pay grade as locals. We are perceived as being desperate. Find a local employment agent who can look through their contract and negotiate a livable salary. That's a fact. There is some people that's really out there to screw you over. But beware. New Zealand, beautiful country indeed.
I just want to end by saying, I don't know if you've heard, but all the countdown shops are now Woolworths again. So they changed the name back to Woolworths. It was Woolworths way back when, and now it is Woolworths again.
I was waiting for the shopping report this morning. So
yesterday I thought I'd go visit our very first Woolworths in Tauranga, which is in the Bethlehem Centre. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Everything is new. It is really a beautiful, beautiful store. Everything, yeah.
So
Really
our
beautiful.
petrol account's going to go up now because you're going to.
No,
drive.
I won't
Okay.
shop there.
Okay, that's still too expensive.
It is.
Yeah.
I think their prices actually went up from when it was down to now that it is Woolworths.
Okay.
So all I bought was the stuff that I really needed, and if it was at a price that I was willing to pay for it. So there are some stuff that I didn't buy that I'll go back and save to buy. Some of the stuff were actually like $2 more expensive than it is at Back and Save.
It's the same thing.
Same thing, exactly, like butter and stuff.
Well, they're going to pay the $300 million they spent.
But I just wanted to have the experience, and it is absolutely beautiful. And they have actually got the way they pack their meat and stuff is like it was in Australia. The meat that they kind of vacuum so that it looks like plastic. Yeah. It's not very appealing.
I still like my local butcher.
Yes, yeah. But so they changed a little bit of stuff like the packaging, and they've got small packets of chips now. Some like Simba chips.
Oh, okay. That's a new.
Yes,
you probably the same price as a big one.
No, it wasn't that expensive.
Okay.
So you normally only get to buy big packets, but they've got the small ones.
Read that for us, please.
Which one?
So true. Relearn how to live.
A shocker to discover what life is supposed to be like. Love it here. Much more relaxed lifestyle. It is a shocker. It is.
It is.
We always said when we lived in South Africa still, and the first time that we went overseas, which is also one thing that we thought we would never be able to do because we don't have money. So we just ended up saving and we went overseas. And once you do that, and I mean, we went to Israel, so that's actually also, it's safe, but in your head, it's not safe. But even that, just open our eyes to what it...
And at that stage, Israel was involved in a war.
And we were still feeling more
better
safe
than in South Africa.
We were in South Africa. So, yes, you have to give yourself...
Yeah. Two last, before we leave, volunteer when you first arrive. Great way to meet locals, obtain a Kiwi reference, gold card to employment. And then somebody just say we're doing the big move as well next month. Very excited, going to reside in Tauranga. Mainly doing it for the kids. Guys and girls, on that note, we got to say goodbye.
Goodbye. Enjoy your day.
Enjoy your day. And see you all next week, same time, same place.
You won't be here next week. You are going to be
I'll probably tune in from Christchurch next week. Yeah.
Okay.
Just a quick thing. We've got the camp on Labour weekend. If you still want to go camping with us, look at all our pages. We got the camp advertised there, and we're not making any money on this camp.
No,
so
this is just for people to
get to know each other. We have the right to braai there, so that's a big thing.
And we're going to Waitomo at the Waitomo Coast. So it is absolutely, it's one of the most beautiful parts of New Zealand.
It is.
With a lot to do. So hope we see you there.
All right. See you all. Stay well. Next week from...
Like comment, please. We'll do it now.
Next week from Christchurch. See ya. Bye.
Bye.